look at the time, where does it go? So much to craft, so much to sew. Time is ticking, there's a buzz in the air. Need to get ready, no time to spare. Yarn, thread, paint, glitter and glue. So many supplies, what should I choose? Need to decide, do I knit you a hat? Maybe embroidered shirt, I know you'll like that. Quilt you a blanket, that might take a while. Crafting is my passion, love to make you smile. So many ideas, so much to do. Making your gift, just thinking of you. Colors and patterns, spreading holiday cheer. It's the holiday crafting time of the year.
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Good morning, Gifted Crafters, and welcome to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. Hello out there. Good morning. I see we've got people tuning in from all over the place. Let's see where we have. Let's see. We've got people from San Antonio, Texas. We've got Missouri. Wow, Cameron, Missouri. We've got Alabama. Let's see. Texas, Maryland, Virginia. Oh, wow. We've got people from all over the place. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I really appreciate all of your support. Lots and lots of fun to be able to kind of bring together all crafters from all over the place. And it's so much fun to see you guys here. We got Louisiana here. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. All righty. Awesome. Miami is here as well. Yay. Hey, neighbor. How are you? Alrighty, let's see. Louisiana, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Maryland. And it goes on and on. Awesome, awesome. Wonderful. Thank you all for tuning in. So, guys, it is Christmas in July. Yay! So, for all you crafters out there, you know what that means, right? We gotta start preparing for Christmas because, yeah, we are already in July. It is also Hump Day. It is Happy Hump Day. Yay! Yeah, I was a little bit off in my head. I was thinking it was Tuesday and had to ask my hubby here, what day of the week is it? He told me it was Wednesday, so it made me excited. Awesome. Alrighty. Well, we're at Happy Hump Day and it's also Christmas in July. So we've got a lot of things going on. And as you can see from our little intro, we are getting ready for Christmas. It is that time of the year to start pulling out all of those projects that you want to get done by the end of the year. It's time to plan. It's time to get them ready. Make sure you have all of your supplies and make sure that you plan yourself accordingly so you can finish by the end of the year. okay? And you don't kind of get yourself all crazy at the end trying to finish and rush yourself because you didn't plan, right? So here we are, we're in July, and we're ready to start, okay? So who's with me here, huh? I know, yeah. There's actually 176 days till Christmas, guys. 176. Yes, I said that. 176 days. So you've got that many days to get yourself ready, get all of your projects done. So, we've got plenty of time to kind of really think through what we want to get done by the end of the year. So, yes. You love the new song, Faker McFake? Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed the song. That's our little Christmas song. And actually, it's kind of one of my favorites. I really like that song. It just gets me ready for the holidays. I don't know. It's just a lot of fun there. But we are still working on getting a new CD at the end of the year. So, yeah. Oh, no, don't say that. Yes, Robin. It's the end of the year. It's coming, and you got to get ready for it. So lots of projects that you got to get done, right? So this is the fun part, right? This is the part we really like. And it's at the time of the year where we're not rushed. So it's really nice to be able to kind of do things if you start now and plan accordingly and work on your project just a little bit at a time till the end of the year. By the time Christmas comes, your project will be done. You would have enjoyed the process because you didn't rush through it. And, it will be ready for when you want it to be. So lots and lots of fun because, guys, life gets in the way. So you got to start now, right? Don't procrastinate. All righty. Good morning. Good morning from Texas and Canada. Good morning. Okay. Wow, you brought so many aprons and kitchen towels to stitch for your Christmas presents. Well, Marge, that's perfect because now you can start planning them out and getting them done piece by piece, right? And you don't have to rush. You don't want to be at the end of the year and then have to rush and do like 20 towels in a day, right? Because if you're embroidering on those towels, they take time. Each embroidery takes time. Think about how much one design can take. It can take, I've seen designs take up to 2 hours, depending how intense they are. You can make them big, you can make them small, but they may have a lot of density in there. So there's a lot of stitching going on. So you definitely want to take your time. Okay. All right. I can't stress that enough, guys. All right. So let's see if you guys are all ready and got your little cups ready. Let's do our little toast in the morning and get your cup of whatever it is you're having. No judgment here. And let's go ahead and grab a sip. And yes, we've got those snacks. We did not forget about the snacks. Let me see. I believe it's the food truck that's coming down the block here. Yep, there it goes. There's our food truck. It's got all the little goodies out there. So you've got all your coffee, tea, donuts, and all those little pastries and fun things. Don't forget the muffins. We've got the healthy stuff like the kale and the carrots. But we're giving out something special today. We're giving all of you a candy cane. Yes, we're giving you candy canes today. So get yourself your candy cane. It's all free and it's so much fun. And guys, don't worry about it because no calories, right? So go ahead and grab your candy cane now. Come on, stay on the line. No fighting on the line. Get yourself your candy cane and you'll be good. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, Faker McFake got his blueberry bagel. Awesome. she got blueberry bagels. Well, I get the plain bagels. I just like the plain ones. Yeah. My mom likes the cinnamon and raisin ones. Alrighty. I'm going to take my little sip here. Oh, feels so good in the morning. Alrighty. Awesome. We're ready to go. Okay. Oh boy, Robin needs lots of snacks this morning because you have to leave early to watch your 3 and 5 year old grandsons. Yeah, you better load up on those calories there. Need that energy to keep up with them. have a great time. Okay, so we're going to do things a little different today. So what we're going to be tackling is our first Christmas project. So I'm going to bring that over here. And we're going to be tackling a Designs by Juju. And it is called the Holly Jolly Christmas Quilt. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's called the Holly Jolly Christmas Quilt. It is not a brand new design. It's been Designs by Juju has had this, I want to say maybe last year, but I did get it and never got a chance to do it. So I don't want another year to go by because I have a couple of kids that I would really love to gift this to. So I want to go ahead and make this, and I'm going to use my scan and cut to cut my applique pieces. I've got my embroiderings here. I'm going to show you the way I'm doing it. Of course, there's a million different ways that you can do it. This is just the way that I'm doing it. Maybe a little bit different, or it may be the same thing that you're doing. I'm not sure. So I don't have any affiliate links or anything like that for this, but if you go to the Designs by Juju website, I just like to support fellow crafters. I like to, go ahead and support them. So in the video description, we have it there. It's not an affiliate link, but just use that link to get you to the actual design, and then you can go ahead and get the Holly Jolly Christmas Quilt and stitch this along with me. So wouldn't this be a really nice gift for someone? Really super cute. I think it's just adorable, and I love these little applique pieces. I think they are really gorgeous. And now this one uses from a 5x7 hoop. Is the smallest hoop size, and they're all the way up to 8x12. Yes, Becky, that's true. All the designs, the Designs by Juju has 70% off. It's Christmas in July. Yes, so it's a perfect time to go ahead and get this. And I believe with the 70% off, I think you can get this design for $10, I think it was. But don't quote me on that. Yeah, okay, $10.80. Thank you, Sue. Awesome. Yes, you can get this, and it's a really nice, I really like the way Designs by Juju lays things out in terms of the instructions. They give you color charts. They really give you a lot of good base information to be able to make the quilt. And their instructions are pretty well laid out, and they do have some pictures on there, so it kind of gives you an idea if you're a first time doing one of those in the hoop type projects. And I think they really have awesome instructions. The information that they give you is really on point, and I love that they kind of give a bandwidth, right? So they start from, you can do this with a 5x7 hoop all the way up to an 8x12 hoop. So if you're doing the 5x7 hoop, which is what I'll be doing, your finished size is 21.2 inches by 27.7 inches. So not too bad. Of course, if you got the bigger hoop size, like an 8x12, it'll be like 33.1 inches by 43.3 inches. So pretty nice size there. But it's great that it allows me to do this design with just that 5x7 hoop, which, it's becoming more and more challenging for me to, not want to do these bigger projects with these bigger hoops that are out there. The 5x7 hoop is really nice, but man, I've got that hoop envy. Really would like to make that larger one, right? And I'm sure other people do too, but lots and lots of fun here, and I think this is going to be a great little project to start off with. So what I thought we would do today, once you purchased your Holly Jolly Christmas file, right, with all of the designs in there, there's several different things to put this together. So you've got 12 squares in total, like the 12 days of Christmas, right? And each one of these squares has some kind of an applique piece. And then from there, you also have sashing and you have your corners, right? So you have to go out and kind of pick out your fabrics on what you would like. And then you have to pick out your fabrics for your applique also. So, you know, it's really something that you can use your current stash with. Since it's a Holly Jolly Christmas quilt, you're looking for your greens, you're looking for your reds, couple things that are black, not too many things. And you're looking maybe for like a little bit of silver, a little bit of gold, something like all of those Christmassy colors. And then you can select what you want out of there, that stash that you have. You know, try not to go out and get fabric. Try to use up the stash that you have. And then from here, we'll build up the quilt. Okay, so let's go over, and I'm going to take you over to my laptop, and we're going to be doing that. But before we get to all of that, okay, we're going to go ahead and get to our crafting news. We've got two little things here that I want to tell you about. So let's go through that really quick, okay? All right, so for our crafting news, we're going to go over to Decorah, Iowa, and we're looking for some small town charm and a big quilt inspiration, because there's a nice special event happening this July that's really going to warm your heart. So they are having their 6th annual airing of the quilts in Decorah, Iowa, and it's set for Thursday, July the 10th from 3 to 7 p.m. And it's a drive-by quilt show like no other. Isn't that amazing? Now, this is being hosted by the Decorah area quilters and in Northeast Iowa Quilters Guild. This is a free event, and it invites all of the locals to hang their quilts outside of their home, drape them over their fences, their porches, their railings, or anywhere that the breeze can catch them. It's like turning the whole town into a living quilt gallery. That is just so much fun. I think that's so amazing. So everyone is welcome to drive by, take your bike, or take a stroll and admire all of the handiwork from the quilters in the community. And it's not just about showing off your stitches, it's about stitching the community together through creativity, tradition, and pride. So if you want more information on that, just go to their website, www.neiqg.com. Okay, now we're going to head over and talk about the American flag, because, you know, 4th of July is just around the corner, guys. And many of us will be raising our little stars and stripes with lots of pride. But have you ever wondered who actually made that flag? There's a good chance that it came from Eater Flag, which is the largest American flag manufacturer in the country. And they are based in Oak Creek, Wisconsin. And the company's been around since 1887, where 7 Eater brothers started sewing pillows and rag dolls. They stitched their first U.S. flag in 1903, and today they produce over 5 million American flags every year. Isn't that amazing? They're all made right here in the USA with American-made materials. And what makes them really special is that this is an employee-owned company that's made up of 200 workers from all around the world. They're all united by their craftsmanship and the community, and their work is even featured in a documentary that's called The Flag Makers, and that you can watch on Disney Plus, actually. Now, every flag is sewn with care, star by star, stripe by stripe, by real people who take great pride in what they do. And I think that was really cool. It's really nice to be able to kind of see how your flags, which you guys are all going to be waving on the 4th of July, how those flags are actually made, and the documentary is pretty cool. So I thought that was pretty neat, and so that is the crafting news that I have for you guys today. So now let's kind of head over, and we're going to go to my laptop, and we're going to kind of start this off. one thing I wanted to point out, because you guys did ask me yesterday, when we were cutting the fabric and I had that film that was underneath the ruler that prevented it from slipping, I knew it was OmniGuard, and I did find, I thought I was all out, but I guess I do have just a little bit left. This is the name of the product. It's OmniGuard, and it's called InvisiGrip. And this is what it looks like. Let me put it closer for you guys. So OmniGuard, it's called InvisiGrip. And this is the film. It's kind of like a roll here, right? It comes in a roll. And so it gives you the film here. I know it's hard to see, but it's got the film right here attached. And all you do is you cut this to the size of the ruler that you're applying it on. And then you just take this and you put it on the back of your ruler. And it kind of helps for it not to slip as much. And so it helps to hold that in place. So for those of you who were asking me, you know, that's what that was. And this is what it's called. I did get this from Joann's many moons ago. But I did see that it is available in Amazon. I put a link down below. It's on my shop, and you guys can find it if you're interested. I think it's a great help because I like how it, you know, prevents your rulers from slipping. So, you know, we've always have that issue with rulers moving on us when we're doing a cut, right? Okay. All right, so let's go over to the laptop, and I'm going to kind of show you how I'm doing it here. So what I've done here, let's see, can you guys see that? Okay, perfect. So I am in Embrilliance right now. And what I have done is I just took the first applique that is on the Holly Jolly quilt. Sorry, let me grab one sip of water. Okay, much better. Okay, so what I've done is I've gone ahead and I loaded the first design. And the first design is this little reindeer here. He is in the top left corner of the actual quilt. So this is one of the very first appliques. And we've got a simple little reindeer here, and it's all applique. So I just brought in the file and I dropped it into Embrilliance. And I have a 5x7 hoop. So my hoop size is right down here, and it's all set and ready to go for me to go ahead and, you know, stitch it out. But what I want to do is cut my fabric, and I want to cut it to the size for the applique, but I don't want to have to cut it out and keep stopping in the middle of the project to cut the fabric out and take it off of the machine to cut it and then put it back on again. I want to pre-cut all my pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, but I'm using Embrilliance to kind of clean up the file before I actually send it over to my scan and cut and have it cut it. Now, there's many different ways of doing this. I'm prepping my file in Embrilliance, but you can also do it in the scan and cut. So it's really a matter of preference of how you prefer to do it. I like to do it in Embrilliance because I feel like I have more control and I can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit better than I can in the scan and cut. The scan and cut, you're limited to that really small screen, and this one just makes it a little bit easier for myself to do. So that's why I kind of prefer to do it this way, although you can do it in the scan and cut by just taking the design itself, the PES file, as I have a brother machine, so you'll have to get, you know, whatever your file extension is that you have, depending on your embroidery machine. Whatever your embroidery machine reads, that's what you'll have to bring over to the scan and cut, and then kind of go from there. I use a brother machine, so my file extension is .pes. Okay, that's the embroidery software that the brother machines read. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go to my objects panel. That's the panel here, right here on the top. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus sign. And that's going to open up that particular design and give you all of the layers and pieces that are involved in this reindeer design. Okay, so I know that I only need applique pieces. And you have to kind of understand a little bit what it is that you're trying to achieve, right? I don't really care for anything that is going to be embroidered or any type of a background piece if it doesn't require me to put fabric down. So if you look at the design itself and you look at the instructions that the Designs by Juju gives you, they give you a couple of key pieces of information that you're going to want to see. And that's a couple of PDFs. So besides the instructions, they give you this color chart. And I think the color chart is quite helpful because it gives you some really key pieces of information. If you look at the color chart, I'm not so much concerned about the colors itself, but I'm really focused on the name. Although the color can be helpful, I'm really looking at the name because it's basically telling you the steps of this particular design. And since I know I only need the pieces to cut my fabric, I'm looking at all of the placement lines. And the placement line is going to give you the outline that you need to make that cut. And so we've got this placement line here, then it has a tack down line, and then it has this blue color, and then you go back to another placement line, another tack down, another placement, and so on and so forth, right? So I know that I really just need the placement lines. Okay, so now let's go back over to Embrilliance, and how do we figure out what's what? Right, so we know if we click on each of the pieces, Embrilliance is going to highlight what that is. And so I clicked on the very first one and it says Brother Embroidery Deep Rose, and we have that square. I don't need to worry about putting fabric down there because we're going to have our background fabric, and that's probably going to be the only piece that I'll put down and maybe trim off. But I'm really concerned about all those little intimate pieces, like the little reindeer antlers, the head, the nose, and so forth. Will you not send an SVG type file to the Scan and Cut? Celia, no, I'm going to be sending the PES file, the embroidery file. That's the file that I'm going to send to the Scan and Cut. So you have the option to do both. I'm going to send the embroidery file over to my Scan and Cut. I'm going to clean it up in Embrilliance and send that over to the Scan and Cut. Now, I do have to warn, not all Scan and Cuts can read an embroidery file. I have the SDX230DI Scan and Cut. So anything from that version, this is like the Disney version, but it's the 230DI, and anything above that can absolutely do it. And I believe the 220 can do it as well. The lower end versions, or the ones that are not SDS, do not read embroidery files, and so you would have to do SVG. So you got to kind of look to see if your machine can actually handle it. I really like working with the embroidery file. I think it's just a lot easier to work with than it is for any of the other file types. That's just me. You can do it any way you like. Like I said, there's a million ways to do this. This is just the way I'm doing it and how I was able to do some of the cuts. Okay, the embroidery file is fit so much. Yes, Quilting with Harriet, I agree. I agree. The embroidery file just fits better. It's so much easier for me to work with. Maybe it's because I understand Embrilliance a little bit more. So it just makes it a little bit easier. And that's why I prefer to do everything here before I send it over to my Scan and Cut. So that's kind of how I'm going to be doing this. Let's see. Oh, Jackie, you should make the nose in a glittery vinyl. Ooh, that's a neat idea. Just may take you up on that. Alrighty, so let's get to this, right? So we've got the first box and we know we don't need that. It's not an applique. So I'm going to go ahead and hit delete. And then you see how it removed that box. So now we're going to go to the next one. And the next one again is going to be another box. And this is the dark olive. So we're going to delete that one as well. The third one is yet the last box, which is an electric blue. We don't need that one either. So let's go ahead and hit delete. And now we're going to start getting into all of the different pieces. And so the first one is, it says Brother Embroidery Deep Rose. Now, if you look at the color chart, and this kind of helps you out, it'll tell you, and let me see if I can make this just a little bit bigger. Okay, so it'll tell you we've already deleted the first three, right? So number 1, 2, and 3 was our placement, tack down, and the blue, and that was just for like the background stuff. I'm not worried about the background. I just want to worry about the intricate applique pieces, right? So we're now here looking at number 4, and that is the applique placement line. And that is going to be the first intricate piece that I want to cut. So we're going to keep that. And then now you're going to notice where the pattern comes in. You've got your placement line, right, which is telling you where to put the fabric. You've got your tack down line, which is now, once you put your fabric in, it's going to tack it down, right? So it's putting it down into place. And then it repeats, placement line, tack down line, placement line, tack line. And it's going to go around to all the different areas to kind of do the little reindeer, right? So those are the pieces that you want to keep. I am not keeping the tack down line. I am only keeping the placement line, okay? So we're going to get rid of all these other tack down lines. We just want to keep the placement line. And if you look at this, we are going to end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're just going to have 5 little images left that is going to give us what we need for those intricate pieces. So now, using the color chart, you can print that out and have it off to the side or keep it on your laptop when you're kind of doing this. And then just kind of go back to Embrilliance now, and we're going to go down the line. So we know this deep rose right here is the little outline of his head, right? And that is the placement line. So we want to keep that one. And that is, and this is what I really like about Designs by Juju, they kind of color coordinate these things. So the placement line all have this deep rose color, which is really nice because you know that the deep rose is a placement line and that's what you want to keep. The dark olive, when I click on it, it's still highlighting the same thing because that is now the tack down line and we only need one. So we don't need this. So we're going to go ahead and delete that. And then we're going to go to the next one. We've got deep rose again, but now this is the little snout. So you've got the little snout highlighted here. We're going to keep that one. Dark olive, again, it is the snout, but that's the tack down line, and we don't need it. So let's hit delete on that one. And then you're going to kind of keep going down the line. Here's the little hooves. That is going to be the placement line. It's deep rose. Next one is dark olive. Again, it's on the hooves, so we don't need that. We're going to delete it. Next one again. We got the little nose. We're keeping that one. We do not need this one. We're going to get rid of that. And let me move this down so you can continue to see. Next one here, we've got the little antlers, we're keeping that. And we're getting rid of the dark olive. Now we're going to get into some other stitching designs, right? So now when you click on this one, it's teal green, and you can see that's the little background squares. We don't need applique fabric for that, so we don't need that. So let's get rid of that. Now we've got the actual stitch out. So if you look again at your color chart, it is telling you what this is doing. The other way that you can kind of see what's going on is that you can kind of go into your stitch simulator and watch it stitch out as well. That's another way to do this. So let's see. Do we need the amber red? No, we don't. We do not. Let me kind of go back. There we are. Let's delete that. And you can see when I deleted that, you see how this changed? It's a much thinner line because the other one was that satin stitch, and we don't need that. We just need the placement line. So it's going around now and it's doing the satin stitch. So we're going to click on the reddish brown. Don't need that. And you can see how the picture itself is just remaining with the outline. We are getting rid of all of these satin stitches because we don't need that. Okay, let's see. We've got the little hooves, satin stitch we don't need. We've got the nose satin stitch that we don't need. Let's see, what did I miss? Here is the little antlers. And then we've got the little eyes. We don't need them. And we've got the little snowflakes in the back that we don't need either. So you can see that this is what I am left with. Nope. Can you put it back on the... There we go. Sorry, guys. Mr. H, I don't know what's going on. I think he needs to drink some more coffee over there. There we go. Okay. So you can see right here, all that I have left right now, I hope you guys were able to see all of that. All I have left here are 5 little designs here on my objects panel, and you can see the stitch file itself just has the placement line. Okay, yes, Mr. H's in trouble. He's not paying attention, right? Okay, so we've got all of this here, and this is what we want to kind of leave here. So now I'm just going to kind of go into each one here. And I want to kind of just maybe separate them. So let's see. You've got this here. I'm highlighting. This is the little mouth here. So I'm just going to use my arrow key and just kind of move it. And then I'm just going to go, let's see what's here on the top. We can keep that one right there. We're going to go to the little hooves. Little feet here. Let's move that. And I'm just separating them. You don't have to do this. I just like to kind of separate it out a little bit. And I'm taking it totally off the hoop, but that's okay, because we're just going to put it in our scan and cut, so we're fine. And let's see, the little antlers, we're going to just move them out of the way here too. There we go. So these are all the pieces that we're going to need in order to cut out our fabric. And so here we are with the 5 different shapes, and here's the 5 different pieces that we need. So this is all we need to send over to our scan and cut and have it cut the fabric for us, okay? And these are all the shapes that I have. And so all I'm going to do right now is I am just going to do File, Save As, and you can save it as a working file just to have an extra copy on your laptop. I prefer to do that. I like to always save my working file and a stitch file. But the one that you need in order to send to your scan and cut will be the stitch file. So you're going to do Save Stitch File As, and then you're going to go ahead and save it wherever it is you want to save it to. If you have Canvas and you want to send it through Wi-Fi, you can do that. If not, just get a little USB, save it on your USB, which is what I'm going to do. And I do have the Wi-Fi. I just don't feel like messing with that. So I'm going to go ahead, just save it on the USB, and I'm going to send that over to my Scan and Cut and then go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've already saved it, so I'm not going to save it again. But that's just how easy it is to get the pieces that you need in order to get over to your Scan and cut them out. So this is everything you need. If you wanted to, you can use this little bar right here to toggle and make things a little bit bigger so you can see each of the intricate pieces. I do a little scan just to check, and the reason I chose this one, I thought this one was really nice and easy, because if you look at all of the shapes that you have here, they are all closed shapes, meaning it is completely closed 100%. There's no shapes on here that are left open-ended. And so that makes it a little bit easier to not have to kind of fiddle with all of that in your Scan and Cut, because the Scan and Cut needs to have a closed shape. And so all of these are nice and closed. And so that makes it a little bit easier for you to kind of just start getting into, doing your, using your Scan and Cut to cut your fabrics for your appliques. And so it starts to really get you used to the idea, gain a little bit of confidence before you go starting to tackle some really difficult ones, because there are some that, have all kinds of little things that you need to do to clean it up. And so this is a nice and easy one where everything is closed off. There's really not anything that you need to do. All of your pieces are in place, and we've already separated all that. And all we have here is just what we need to cut. Okay, so go ahead and save your file. Again, I saved it to a USB, and I'm going to be using that with my Scan and Cut. So now let's kind of go over to our Scan and Cut here, and I'm going to wake it up here. Here we are. We're at our Scan and Cut, and let's wakey. Here we go. Alrighty. So I've got my USB in my Scan and Cut. And so I'm ready to now retrieve the file that I just saved from Brilliance. It's saved as a PES file because I am using a Brother embroidery machine. Okay, and that is the file type that machine reads. And so now I'm going to go ahead and hit Retrieve Data. And I'm going to retrieve my file from my USB. So I'll go ahead and hit that option. Okay, it's going to show you all the files that you have on your USB. And yes, I have quite a few. But let me just grab the little pen so my fingers don't get in the way while I'm trying to show you this. So I'm going to kind of scroll down. And guys, yes, I have a ton of files here. And I'm going to look for the file that I saved. And you'll see the file names are up on the top. And they do say PES file, which is the embroidery extension file name that I use. And let's see here. There it is. So it's called Reindeer Top, right? And so it's a PES file. So I'm going to go ahead and select that one, and it's going to bring in the image. And you can see here, it gives you the file name reindeertopblock.pes. So this is the embroidery file. Okay, you are not sending your working file, because your working file will have the extension of BE. That is not the file that you are sending. You are sending your stitch file, which will have the file extension that your embroidery machine reads. So once you've done that, we've brought up our design from our USB. Now we're going to have two options on here. The options we're going to select, and this is where I think Brother could have, they could do a little bit better job of this part, because I can tell you what I did myself was when I purchased the Scan and Cut, you can go to their website and you can bring up the operational manual. And this is available at any time via online. So you can bring it up as a PDF on your computer and save it as a PDF. But I'm more of a visual person. I needed to have a hard copy book so I can see it, highlight it, make my little markings of things that I do a lot. And so I don't have to fumble through where that option was, and I'm able to kind of see where that is. So if you're following me along with the manual itself, you can flip over to page 59, where it talks about retrieving embroidery data from your cutting, and it tells you compatible models only. So this is the page that I am on the manual, and this is what I followed in order to be successful for these cuts. So you may want to take that out. I went to, what I ended up doing was I took the PDF of the manual, put it on a USB. I head over to my local Office Depot, and I had them print them out double-sided on a little binder for me. And that just makes it easy for me to be able to grab things and highlight them and make little notes on my own. So that's kind of what I did. And, you know, if that helps, you know, I hope that's a little helpful tip for you guys, because I think I find it really helpful to just kind of have it on the side for me here. You can bring it up on your laptop as well. That won't cost you anything. I don't like fumbling through the pages when I'm looking for something as I'm doing a project. I kind of like to have it off to the side and ready to go. Okay, so we have back to our Scan and Cut. What we're going to be picking is this little option that has the little flower. Okay, that is the option that we are selecting, and that is going to be your embroidery lines. Okay, you have two different options when you are doing that. You can do the embroidery lines, or you can do applique. Now, applique can be done for other types of projects. For this particular project, we want the embroidery lines because we want it to cut out the actual piece. Okay, so once you select that, go ahead and hit OK. Then you're going to come to this screen, and it's a little bit odd, and you're going to see this little square here on the bottom with some color cubes on there. When you select that, you're going to see your design is going to have a little bit of color on it. So this is just your color recognition mode, and you can either turn it on or turn it off. Turning it on, you're going to see this right now is red. Turning it off is going to make it that gray scale. We want to keep it at the gray scale. We don't need to have different color recognitions on because everything is just one color and we're good. We're just going to lay down the fabric, and the fabric is what's going to determine the colors, right? So that's all we need for that. Then we're going to go over to the region detection, and you've got several options here. We're going to do inside outside, which is that first one here, and then go ahead and hit OK. Now we are getting towards that end, and you've got a couple of more options that you can do. One of the things that I like to do is a smoothing line. That's this little squiggly line right here. Now what that squiggly line does is just basically smoothing off the edges, right? It may have a little bit of a rough cut somewhere, and you don't want that. You want the cut to be nice and smooth. So I recommend go ahead and hit that button, and you're going to have three options. You're going to have off, low, and medium. I'm sorry, four options. You're going to have high. We want to just bump that up to medium. I'm going to kind of keep it in the middle, so smoothing is middle. and then go ahead and hit OK. All right, and then once you've done that, now you have another option about grouping, right? So you can either ungroup it or you can group it. We want to keep it ungrouped. So we see this here is blue. When you touch it, it's white. And again, this is another opportunity where Brother can do a little bit more clarification, because some of these icons, you're not sure, well, is that grouped or is that ungrouped? You know, it took me a while to kind of figure that out, and I kind of kept going back and forth. So, and this is where you can kind of jot down those little notes on your manual, right? When it is white like this, that means that it is ungrouped. When you touch it again, you're going to see it turned blue. That means that it's grouped. Okay, so you do have to kind of play a little bit to see, you know, what each thing is doing, because sometimes they don't really tell you right off the bat. Like, I would really liked for it to kind of just say ungrouped or grouped so that I know what was going on. But it didn't. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to ungroup that. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit set. And now we're getting to the point where we just need to now put our items in place. So I'm going to touch this here, and it's going to bring this whole group with it all together. It's moving it all along because it's selecting all. Okay. And then what you're going to do now is you're going to go ahead and I'm going to hit edit. And I'm going to touch one here. And let's see, I'm going to arrow over. Now here, one more time. There we go. Touching it, you got to touch it a couple of times so it just highlights the one. See how we're highlighting just one? So now what you're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and touch it, and I'm going to arrow over. And each time I arrow over, it's going to highlight it. But what you notice is I have to hit the button twice in order for it to move to the next object. And that means that there's another layer there that we need to remove. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch this and I'm going to drag this over. See how I now have two pieces? I only need one. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the little trash can here and say OK to delete. And I'm going to do that for every single one of these. Okay, so we're just going to delete that extra layer because we don't need two layers. We only need one. So just click on each one, drag it over, and just delete that extra layer. Use the little hooves. There we go. Okay, so now we're left with just one layer of everything. Oh, thank you, Celia, for the super chat. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you liked the little content here. I hope this really helps you guys out. Okay, so once you've done that, you've now got your single layer here and you're ready to go. So now, let's see, we're going to touch this here, which are the three boxes. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and touch one of these here. Then I'm going to do the three boxes. And what the three boxes is kind of like a select all type of thing. So, you know, Brother uses a lot of these icons, but unless you really use this every day and you become really familiar, it becomes a little difficult. So it can be a little intimidating for a newbie when you see all of these icons and you're just really not sure what you're clicking on. But that's another reason why I like kind of having my little manual next to me, because I can kind of glance over and see what did that icon mean again, and so you kind of go back and forth. So definitely something to help you out there. So go ahead and hit that. Oops, sorry, I already hit it. And then I'm going to hit another one here. and you'll see how it kind of goes through each one. So we're going to arrow over. You can kind of go through each of them, and as I arrow over, you see now I only have to click it one time and it'll go to the next one, which means I only have the one layer. So that's a great way to kind of test that out, to make sure that you don't have another hidden layer, because it's really hard. You're not able to see layers on here. You can only see what's on top, but there can be multiple layers behind it. So you definitely want to try to just move through each of the images so that you can just ensure that you have just the one layer. Okay, so let's see. What else did I have on my notes to tell you guys? Let's see. So I think that was all I had to tell you in terms of this screen. So let's go over now. We're going to go ahead and touch the select all, and then you're going to go ahead and touch each of the objects, and that's going to add all of these. Whoops, did that again. Sorry. You go back again. So we touch one of them, do a select all, and you're going to add, I want all of these images added to there. Okay, there we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 in total, 7 pieces, right? And then, oh, thank you for this super chat, 1 minute tip. Thank you, I really appreciate for new camera fund for you and Mr. H. We can certainly use that. Yeah, we need to get a little bit better cameras. I know this one's a little fuzzy. It's the best that we have right now, but I'm hoping that you guys can see that pretty clearly. But thank you, I really appreciate your support. Oh, thanks, Heather, for being a member. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so now when we're back here, we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And then what we need to do is one final step here. I am going to use heat and bond on the back of my applique pieces, just to make it a little bit easier to put it exactly into place. So I went ahead and I took my fabric and I put heat and bond on here. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to lay this out on my mat face down. So because fabric is face down, you need to mirror it. So let's go to Object Edit, and I'm going to do this really quickly. I know we're running out of time. And you're going to find your mirror button right here. So go ahead and mirror your images and hit OK. And you are all set. After that, you're good to go. You just hit OK. And you're ready, and you're back at your kind of screen here. And what you can do is you can go ahead and you can scan your mat and get these pieces all nice and cut. I've got my mat right here. Now, I know we are running out of time. So, what I'll do, guys, I will actually leave it right at this step, and we'll pick it up from here tomorrow. And we'll scan this mat and cut out our pieces, because I really don't want to intrude into other people's time. So I know you guys really love to watch Becky with Power Tools with Fred, and she should be coming on any minute now. So let's head over there and give her our support. We'll pick this up tomorrow, so tomorrow we will continue this. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I really appreciate all of your support. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
Liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. By now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.